A to the L to the I to the Z to the E, and it's all on me. And we back with another video, Legend Z. Alizé nails. Now, why do I have my crutches? I don't know. Maybe that's because, like, I feel imprisoned. You know when you just feel like you are an imprisonment and you know when you just feel like you're in an imprisonment of your own thoughts? Well, maybe you are. And that's why today this topic is going to be about negative thinking. And the reason I decided to use these was because this is the only thing that I actually came close to, having. I didn't have like some type of gate or something that was laying outside and I could just show you that I was behind bars. No, I didn't have that. So, anyway, all right, please do not judge my hat and my shirt based off the color, okay? The color and the pants are red. The only reason I have this on, this still counts because it's a little red in there. The only reason I have this on is because this is the only hat that I have at this moment, okay? Someone stole my black hat. I had a black hat. I used to go to Job Corps. Someone stole it. Very upset. They also stole my shorts too. Like people nowadays. But anyway, let's just jump right into this video. Now, I remember introducing you guys to ooh. Ooh. Yeah, emotional. Vantage. I said emotional. Vantage. I said vantage. Advantage. But anyway, so I introduced you to this book, and I hope you guys could see it again. Embracing all your feelings to create life, or to create a life you love, right? So, if you clicked on this video, before I even jump into the topic, I really hope that this video inspires you and it enlightens you to change your thoughts of how you feel about yourself, your surroundings, and other people. And the reason I say this is because negative thinking can really mess up our lives. It really can. And the reason for that is because when we have these negative thoughts, we download those negative thoughts, and then they download just like a computer. It downloads information. We have a bunch of information. Our brain holds a bunch of information. And we have our conscious and we have our subconscious. Now, I believe the subconscious is on the right side and the conscious is on the left, but I don't know. However, we'll get into that later because I did end up writing about the difference between like the brain, the conscious, and the subconscious part of the brain. And, also Bob Proctor talks about how the subconscious is 95%, the conscious is 5%, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about negative thinking and how it plays a big role in your life, okay? And the reason I say you get those downloads, because when you start to download those, I'll use digest, start to digest these negative thoughts, they then affect you in your everyday life. They then affect you in your surroundings and just how you feel about you. It affects you and it affects you in your outer world, okay? So basically, the definition of negative thinking is, I have my notes. I always have my notes all the time, okay? Cognitions about self, others of the world, which characterize negative perceptions, thoughts, expectations, strong beliefs, attributions, actions of a person or a thing that associate themselves with unpleasant emotions and causes behavioral and physiological and health outcomes. Now, I wanted to just talk about this real quick. We all have expectations. We all expect to get that job. We all expect to be successful. We all expect this person to not be who they say. We all expect this person to treat us the way we want them to treat us. We all expect things from our parents. We expect things from our significant others, or we just expect things out of life in general. We expect things. We have strong beliefs. We have these expectations. They're very high. And I was told that when you have expectations, you shouldn't have the expectation of put it into something that is external. You never want to do that, only due to the simple fact that when you get your hopes high and then you're let down, it causes you to think negative. It causes you to think that this is going to happen continuously and I'm going to keep going through this situation over and over again. For example, okay, say Lucy D expected to, let's say, she expected to get this really, really good high paying job, right? She applied for it. They called her. They said they wanted to come in and interview. And she expects that she's going to get it. And she's like, oh, I'm going to get it. 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 And she has these high expectations. And not saying, you know, it's a bad thing. But the fact is she has this strong belief like, you know what, I'm going to get this job. You know, I feel I'm going to get it. I know I'm going to get it. And it's going to happen. Okay? So Lucy D, she goes in, she does the interview, and they say, I'm sorry, we're going to move on with another candidate. She doesn't get the job. Now, Lucy D had high hopes. She had a high belief that she would get this job. And she was like, her resume was amazing. It was practically Lucy D had it all made. She had everything. It was like A+, okay? She went into the interview. She answered the questions. She asked questions afterwards. She's like, why didn't they want me? Now, Lucy D might feel like, what did I do wrong? And she may start to think negative thoughts. And she may start to feel like she's not good enough. Okay? She may start to believe that in reality, if they didn't accept me, then no one else is going to accept me. And sometimes we have to also think about this. Maybe that job wasn't for you. Maybe something better is in store for you. You get what I'm saying? So, we all have these expectations. And we know we expect something. And when we expect it so much to happen, it just might not happen. And sometimes that causes us to think negative. And we start to perceive things and take things internally and digest that into our subconscious. And we start to feel that we're not good enough. We start to change our perception of the world. We start to change our perception of other people. And we start to change our perception within ourselves. Because have you ever heard the saying of where maybe it's not your time yet? And maybe it wasn't Lucy D's time yet. Or maybe something better was going to come towards Lucy D. Maybe that job wasn't for her. Not that she wasn't the best candidate for it, but it wasn't for her. Something better was meant for her. Okay? So, attributions, actions, okay? Either in something or someone else. So, characterize negative perceptions, which is your thought, expectations, beliefs, and then your attributions that associate themselves with unpleasant emotions. Now, the reason these thoughts contribute to your emotions is because if you're thinking positive, you're going to have positive emotions. Okay? Positive feelings about yourself. You're going to be happy. Okay? You may be in a really, really good mood. But when you have negative thoughts, that causes negative emotions. And then one thing that really stood out to me, psychology, psychological meaning. Okay? This then can cause, which goes into mental illness. Some people who have really negative thoughts, they have mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety, personality disorders, okay, OCD, or generalized anxiety disorder, which is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I have to look up those two, okay? I did take psychology in college. I am not a psychologist, okay? However, like I said, I know just a little bit, just enough, you know, just enough. But it really interests me because no, before I even go into this, no, I'm not saying you who clicked on this video, you have a mental illness. No, not everyone has a mental illness. Sometimes these negative thoughts can just be a part of regular part of life, which I'll later go into. But first I want to focus on the psychological meaning And depending on who you are, like as me, I suffer from depression and anxiety. I do not know yet what I'm diagnosed with, but I will find that out later on in my therapy sessions over time, because like I said, there are times where I have mood swings and my moods go from here, I'm here, and then 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 I'm here. And you know, I'm not going to self-diagnose myself. You cannot do that. And I do not want you guys to think that I'm crazy, so I'm not going to even jump too much into that. But I will say that because of that, I do have a mental illness. And psychologically, you can have a mental illness when you start to have these negative thoughts. And for years of my life, I've always thought negative about myself, and I've always thought that I wasn't good enough. So some people who do have negative thoughts, it's not easy for them to just turn it off and say, oh, I'm not thinking this way. Sometimes you actually, there's people that actually have to train their brains and train their mind. Roxy talked about it. Shout out to her. I like her, and I watch her a lot, manifesting specific people, manifesting. She's a manifesting goddess, okay? I love her. So she says that you are the employer and your brain is the employee. Train your brain, meaning that it's not going to take, in my perception, I like to take bits of information and then actually, then come up with, okay, this, I'm going to take bits and pieces of information from each site or each thing that I research, and then I'm going to come up with my own explanation for it. So I like to say that I've looked it up. It says that you can actually change your subconscious mind within 6 weeks, and some people cannot change their subconscious mind within 6 weeks. Some people can change their subconscious in the 6 weeks. Excuse me, almost about a month or so, and then you have some people that can actually change their subconscious mind within, who knows, moments of seconds. It depends. But let me tell you this, I don't agree with that, only due to the simple fact that depending, like I said, on what you've been through, it's going to take some time. And psychologically, if you have been diagnosed with a mental illness, which isn't depression or anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder, this is not going to be something that's easy for you to just turn off. You are going to have to train your brain, and you're going to have to really dig deep, which goes back into internal inventory, making a complete list of your values and your beliefs. This all revolves around how you feel about yourself at the end of the day, and this revolves around your being self-aware of your emotions, because just not too long before I even started making this video, excuse me, hold on. So before I started making this video, I had a negative thought that just came into my brain, and I said, no, absolutely not. And there's many YouTubers that say, you can say these things to your brain. You can even say this. Les Brown even said it. He said he'll tell his brain, shut up. I can do this, okay? But you have to come up and be aware of when that negative emotion pops up in your brain. You have to immediately, if you have to say, you know what? No, 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 no. Absolutely not. If you have to sing it, if you have to, people looking at you like, what the hell? Don't worry about what they talking about. Just worry about when that negative thought just pops up in your head. You gotta say, nope, swerve. Swerve, hey, you know what I'm saying? Ow, my foot. You gotta swerve on these, They say swerve on these, HOES, swerve on your negative thoughts, baby. Hey, I'm gonna say that. Swerve on your negative thoughts. I like that. But anyway, so my whole thing is, back to the topic. You could really be suffering from psychological mental illness. This is true, depending on the kind of person and individual you are. I'm not saying that you are suffering from that, whoever clicked this video, because some people just have negative thinking. They just have negative thoughts because it's a part of their life. They're a negative person, and depending on what kind of person you are, you will perceive those kind of thoughts. Negative people are going to attract negative people. Positive people are going to attract positive people. Positive plus a positive, it equals a positive. Negative plus a negative equals a negative. So positive and the negative is not going to equal a positive. You're positive and you're negative. How is that going to work out? You attract a positive force and you have a you're a positive force, but there's a negative force and you're trying to actually make it work with this negative force. It's not going to work because you're positive and this force is negative. Okay? They just cancel out. So, or that person cancels out because they're negative. You just get rid of them and say, hey, I don't need you right now. You know, you messing up my vibes, baby. You're messing up my vibes. So my whole thing is this. People who are affected psychologically have to really dig deep, and they may actually need therapy. Like I myself am taking therapy. I'm not saying that you need that. Once again, I don't need no one in the comments saying I don't have psychological disorders and this, that, and the third. I don't know. I understand. I'm just saying that, I've researched this and this is what I'm taking this piece of information and I'm putting into my own explanation. Because a lot of people will not be able to just change their subconscious beliefs within a certain amount of minutes. That doesn't make sense. You can't do that. You can't just step into this higher power and say, I'm in my higher self at this moment. You could say, I'm stepping into my power, or now I see it, but you must really change your mind. You must really train your mind, meaning that you must see yourself in a way more lighter position, higher position. You need to see yourself as a goddess or a god, whatever you believe in, a queen, a king. And when you start to have these negative thoughts about yourself, then you will start to think the same way about others. And then when you assume that these people or, situations are going to keep happening to you, they do keep happening to you because that's how you feel. So it does affect you. It affects you emotionally, it affects you internally and externally. Okay? So, moving on. The regular part of life. People who think negative have a fear of the future. Failure, they predict failure and disaster. Why is it that people are so quick to assume that if I take this chance, I'm going to fail? Why are people so quick to assume that if I take this chance, it just might not work out? Why are people so quick to assume that they just might not get it or they just might not become great? Excuse me. Yes, you will fail. Failure is a part of life. Period. Failure is a part of life. However, if you're living in fear of the future, then you are not ready to be successful. You can't, because you fear success. You fear it. You fear the unknown. People fear what they don't know. But if you, like they say, the cat was curious. No, curiosity doesn't kill the cat, or is it curiosity kills the cat? No, curiosity kills the cat. But you know what I say? I say, if the cat wasn't curious, then how would the cat know? How would the cat learn? How would the cat understand? So listen to me. When you start to fear everything in your external world, you're gonna be like what? A fish in water. You're gonna be like, I like to say Pisces, because Pisces, like fish, they go like they're everywhere. Okay, you're not even gonna know which way to go, what to do, how to do it, because you're putting yourself in a situation of fearing what's out there. But you don't even know that if you go out there, yes, you're gonna run into people who are gonna talk about you. You're gonna be kicked down. Life's going to throw stones at you, sticks, and all types of stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't let that stop you and have that fear of what's going to be in the future. Why fear something that you haven't even seen yet? Why fear something that you don't even know that can become great? I fear being in poverty, not being successful. To be honest, you know what? I take that back. I do fear being successful. Hell yeah, I do. You want to know why I do? Because when you are taking the step to success, you're going to have fear, but the way is to let that fear steer you. It drives me and steers me in the right direction. Not in the way to, oh no, I don't want to do it. Oh no, I don't want to put these videos out. Oh no, people are going to talk about how I look and how I'm not this model on Instagram. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So what? Oh well. That's your perception. You cannot just live your life in just this fear of the future, because your future just might turn out to be freaking amazing. And who knows, if you create it, if you write down this is exactly what you want, if you have a list on your wall and sticky notes that say I am an inspiration, and I am intelligent, and I'm gonna be the biggest a big influence on people nationwide as a motivational speaker and as a YouTuber to help people and change people's lives. And although you may fear that these videos, or who's not watching, or you may fear that people are not really supporting you, or you fear like you're not gonna get it, even if it takes a long way. I was just watching Nino Brown last night. He said some people want to take the elevator to success and they don't go through nothing. They don't go through anything. So they don't know what it feels like to fail many times and to finally get back up. People want fast money and people want easy money. There's good money and then there's bad money. Good money and bad money. There's easy money and then there's the money that you actually have to work hard for. And the reason people just want to take the easy way up. Nobody wants to take the stairway to success. Take the stairway. I am. Anxiety about the present. Now, like I said, I suffer from anxiety. I'm pretty sure a lot of people suffer from anxiety. You know, it's very common. A lot of people suffer from anxiety of work, job, and people. So some people who have anxiety, they start to think people are either talking about them, or they fear how other people feel about them at their, their workplace, their jobs, etc. Okay. I worked with an individual, a woman who, she told me that she has multiple different anxiety disorders. I'm not going to state those different anxiety disorders, and I'm not stating her name, no, but I will say that she told me that there's a reason why she suffers from these things, and how she feels and how it makes her feel inside. She's a very, very beautiful, authentic being. Very beautiful woman. And she doesn't even feel like she's good enough. And when people talk about her and people, she's been through things where people have said things about her, have hurt her, made fun of her, all types of things in her past. So of course she's going to think negative. Of course a person is going to continue to have those negative thoughts. Of course, a person is going to continue to think that way, and that eventually becomes their negative part. That becomes that part, the part of their life, a negative thinking. But she's not a negative person, but how people perceive her to be, because they don't know her, they assume she's negative. But she speaks her mind. She's very assertive. She's not afraid to say no, and say, no, this is how I'm feeling, and no, I'm not going to allow you to feel that. Say those things about me. However, I will say, on the other hand, she attracts those negative people into her life because there must be something that she has to work on within herself. Absolutely. We all do. So do I. We attract these people into our lives, or we, sometimes it may not even be you just attracting these people. People can really just be out to just tear you down because of how positive and uplifting you are and how you don't let certain things affect you. But internally, a person doesn't really know how you're feeling, because even behind every smile, there could be someone who's had a very dark past and who is going through many situations in life. And that can really harm them and hurt them internally, and can make them feel like they're just not good enough, or make them feel the lack of self-esteem that they actually need to, the low self-esteem that they feel, the low confidence within themselves. And like I said, amazing woman. Okay? But, like I said, this could be a psychological problem, or this could just be a person's normal part, their normal part of life, just how they think. With her, that's another story, because, she suffers from different anxieties. She suffers from, depression. She suffers from these things, okay? So, shame about the past. Now, none of us want to sit here and say that my past was the best. Or majority of us. We are really affected by our past experiences, because our past We believe, some of us have the mindset of thinking our past is what makes us who we are. Our past is what creates our outcome and the end of our story. I think Les Brown was talking about this yesterday. Your future hasn't been written yet. Your outcome has not been written yet. You have the ability to change that. And by first changing these thoughts of how you feel and letting these thoughts contribute to these negative emotions that affect you internally and externally in reality and even internally. There are a lot of things that we suffer from in everyday life. There are a lot of things and people who are going to hurt us, but at the same time, these negative thoughts and how we feel, we must train our subconscious mind to think otherwise. I'm not saying that you're not going to think negative. You're not going to have a negative thought. No. But I am saying that you should be able to say, hey, let me stop and say, you know what? You're wrong. I don't feel this way. And this is what I'm going to do. And if something doesn't go your way, don't get upset. But just say, maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe something better out there is for me. Okay? And our past it's always something that eats us alive, because we're always either thinking about it or we'll go back to it, or people in our past will show up in our present and then it affects us, and then we let it affect us and we all start having these negative emotions and these negative thoughts, and then we're just like, dang, we're being compelled by these past experiences in our lives. However, like I said before, you should not let your past dictate your future. You should not let your past dictate your present. Because who you are is not who you were yesterday. Yesterday is over. I don't care what no one says. Once 12 midnight hits, that's the past. I don't care. It's the past. Because it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Okay? It was last month. It was last week. It's the past. There's so many things that I have been thinking about. Like, it was just negative thoughts I was just thinking. Even on my birthday, like how I felt on my birthday, I felt terrible. And I was just thinking so many, like, these negative thoughts and feelings, and I was like, I just can't let it go. And then finally I told myself, you know what? It is what it is. I can't change it. I just have to let it go. And it's not easy for us to do these things. And the reason I really wanted to talk about negative thinking is because negative thinking is something that happens a lot. And we don't tend to realize that it really does affect us really with ourselves. Let's just focus on ourselves right now. Let's focus on how we feel. How we're thinking that we're not going to be able to have that big house that we want, or the car that we want, or the income that we want coming in. Let's think about how we keep putting ourselves down in any given situation or any given moment, or situation, in any given opportunity. And we keep putting ourselves down, and we end up messing it up for ourselves because of our negative thoughts. And then how we actually start to let those negative thoughts contribute to those emotions. And then that's when our actions come in, and we start to behave in a negative way. And we start to live our life in a negative way instead of in a positive way. Like I said, I'm not all about you will be happy 24/7. I don't agree with that. Even with manifestation, absolutely not. I just feel like you can still be optimistic throughout the struggle, throughout what you're going through, throughout the pain. Still be optimistic. There's going to be times where you feel like, I want to give up. I just feel like this is no use. It's not working. Nothing's working. Why am I doing this? But don't give up. Keep going. Because in the moment of you giving up might just be your breakthrough. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, leave your comments below. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys. And, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.